Okay, so this episode is different. It's personal in a way that I don't ever think I've let this podcast be before, at least not in this way, because today I sat down with my dad. And it wasn't for a lesson, not for a teaching, not for some like big insight per se into how to live life or none of that, and some of that also. But really, we got together just to talk. Part of it is because I wanted to have this conversation on record. I want to be able to say that when he's 120 and he's transitioned out of his body, that I have this documented. I wanted to ask him questions that I've maybe been holding on to for years without even realizing it. I wanted to hear his stories, his memories, the parts of him that I know as dad, or I call him Abba, the parts of him that maybe never really allowed me to get to know him as a person in this way, as a man who built a whole life, who had made choices I only understand now that I'm older, who has his own doubts and dreams and moments that shaped him long before I ever came into the picture. And I think there's something profound that happens when you sit across from a parent with a microphone between you. Suddenly, it's not just dinner table conversation or a car ride conversation. Suddenly there's permission. There's permission to ask the real questions, to sit in the pauses, and to actually listen with genuine, sincere curiosity. And I have to say, some of what came up in this conversation caught me completely off guard. There were moments where we laughed, and there were moments where, for me, it felt like it got quiet, like really quiet, where maybe I saw a side of my dad that I don't think I'd ever really seen before, at least not in this way. Things that he admitted to me that he hadn't previously. And so this isn't your typical episode, but it's funny and it's tender. It's a little chaotic, but in the best way, because that's just who we are together. There's a little chaos there. There's a whole lot of love, but more than anything, it's real. And I think whether or not you know my dad and whether or not you even know me that well yet, there's something universal in this conversation. There's something about family, about legacy, about the quiet ways our parents shape who we become long before we're wise enough to even notice that it's happening. So grab your coffee or your tea, get cozy, and come sit with us for this one. I think you're going to love getting to know him just as much as I loved rediscovering him. Let's dive in. Becoming a co-creator with the creator is your birthright. Together, we'll journey into your deepest authenticity. Because the more you align with who you truly are, the more effortlessly you call in the life that you desire and deserve. And most importantly, the more you step into your soul's highest purpose. Welcome to the Manifestation Method podcast, your number one source for Kabbalistic manifestation. Here we combine the ancient wisdom of Kabbalah, modern psychology, and quantum physics to help you achieve real, tangible manifestation results with my proven Abra method. I'm Ayelet Polonsky, and I'm here to guide you on your journey of manifesting a life that is aligned, expansive, and deeply connected to your highest self through the sacred energetic mechanics of Kabbalistic manifestation. To learn how to use Kabbalistic manifestation to transform your life from the inside out, go to ayeletpolonsky.com or download the Manifestation Method app. Let's open the gates of manifestation together. Okay, let's jump in. This is exciting. Are you excited?
Very excited. I was waiting for that.
How
I
long were you
don't know.
waiting?
I don't know even what the questions are. Believe me, send me a list. I didn't look at them.
Well, that's good
Let's
because I
make
added some
it,
questions.
we'll make it naturally, spontaneously, as much as we can, like you are.
Like I am. I'm what? I'm spontaneous?
Very spontaneous, I think so, no? You
I
can
don't know.
decide from now to a minute from now. You can go on a trip that I plan a month in advance. You can go tomorrow.
That might be true. That's probably true, but
I
I have
have
kids now.
a lot of beauty in that.
Oh,
Like
yeah?
Yorima is more everything, thinking, planning.
So how did I come out like this?
You came out like me because I'm a Sagittarius and we love to travel. We love freedom. We don't like orders. Uh, and we like to be spontaneous and we like to try new things all the time. I'm very curious about so many things.
That's true. What are you most curious about?
Curious about other parts of the world, about why people behave the way they behave, nations, individuals, societies, and also ask God a lot of questions.
So would you say you believe in God?
I believe that Einstein said that there must be something that monitor this world, manage this world, and I believe in that. To tell you that God wrote the Torah the way it is, I have a lot of questions and doubts. The more I get older, the more mature I am, the more questions. See, when I'm sitting in the synagogue, for example, I always like to look at the Torah from the side and read things the way they are. And I can talk a lot about it, but when God says to Abraham, take your only son and sacrifice it to me, even though it's an experiment, that's not a joke. It's traumatic. And more trauma is when you teach kids when they're 7, 8 years old in school, this experience. Why
Mhm.
God will ask a question like that from Abraham. Or when it says, if you curse your parents, you should be uh, stoned, should be died for cursing parents. So many times I don't see the crime match the results of the punishment in the Bible.
The punishment doesn't match the crime.
It's many times I see that I can give you many, many examples.
Mhm.
But otherwise, the Bible, it's a beautiful book. And from all the other reasons, I think that it's important to have a guideline, especially the Ten Commandments. It's important to have a guideline for people in life. I can't imagine this world full of atheists, people who don't believe that there is universe or God or call it whatever you want. I can't believe the world exists even because I think it's good to have some fear from something bigger than you.
Mhm.
We need that. If you don't have, we are operating through fear also, for fears all the
So
time.
then who do you think do you think this doctrine, you're saying it's good for us to have some fear so that we don't all go around murdering each other, right? Like essentially.
Stealing,
So
cheating, it
So
have to reduce it.
do you think this blueprint, the Torah, was then given by God, him or herself? Or do you think this blueprint was given by man for man in order to prevent us from doing evil?
First of all, I don't know if Moses was on the mountain. I wasn't there. I believe in mostly in things that I can see and I can feel in time and place. So
Okay.
I don't know. It's a story. I read a story. They teach it to me since I was in first grade. And
Mhm.
it's a lovely story that he met God. Maybe God gave him the outlines for the books or the main things. I don't see God who kill animals to be sacrificed for him. I don't see where is God when a lot of people die who really believe, and who really practice, not only believe. Because Spinoza said that practice, the philosopher said, believe without practice is not really belief. So I have an issue with that. We can discuss it, but I'm saying I see a lot of parts of the world, earthquakes and wars, and I don't understand why they exist, why God, who is supposed to be so pure and whole and beautiful and make justice, we see a lot of justice all the time. And I'm asking questions because God gave me, what can I do? He gave me a little bit sechel, some brain to think. And I'm
Mhm.
asking questions. Uh,
Well, that means you're a good Jew because Jews
Jew
love to
has to
ask
ask
questions.
questions, right? That's what makes us Jews. But I love Judaism. I love the culture. I love all the holidays and the songs. I was born into it, and I will keep it that way.
So then what do you think it means to be a Jew? Because you were born and raised in Israel, in Jerusalem, in a religious home, right?
Yeah.
And so
To
the
be a
fact.
Jew
Mhm.
is to try to set an example for others by the way you behave, not but just by the what you say, but by the way you behave.
Mhm.
And also as a nation, uh, nations expect from us more, especially after we went through the Holocaust. In my opinion, we have 6 million people died in Second World War, and they don't like us to behave the same way the Nazi behaved. That's why we're always criticized, always criticized. That's one of the reasons. There are other reasons too, but I think being a Jew is a merit. It's a nice thing. We have a lot of wisdom in the Gemara, in the Talmud, and they study it now in many places, like in Japan, for example. Some schools is mandatory to study Talmud. So I see Judaism as a supreme, something unique that people like to study from. We want to reflect moral to the
Okay.
world.
So let me ask you, what is something that your parents gave you, not necessarily materially, but more spiritually or emotionally, right? What's something that your parents gave you that you tried to pass down to me?
I think some obedience, borders, red lines.
Boundaries? I was raised with boundaries. You think so?
You did, of course, you did some. Listen,
What kind of boundaries?
not too much, but I
Not too
reduced
much.
the rough. I reduced the level
Uh-huh.
because I had a very, very strict father, and I had a lot of issues with that. He was very strict. If he came from school and hear bad things from the teacher, it's enough that I have two low grades. He will come and he will, instead of talking to me, he will use the stick. We have two ways, either stick or carrot. He favor the stick because it says, even in the Torah, it says, if you hate the stick, you hate your children. You have to stick to the stick. And I don't
It's,
believe in the
it
stick.
says that in the Torah that you have to use
Yes,
the stick.
yes. I don't know if it's in the Torah, בעל פה או בכתב. I can tell it to you in Hebrew. שונא שבטו, חוסך שבטו, שונא בנו.
Mhm.
But my father was very extreme. He thought that's a shortcut. It's an easy way, of course. But I studied from you and Joseph, and I
Barrel.
didn't know that,
Joseph is barrel.
that there are many, many other ways to approach it, more pleasant
Oh,
and
so
more.
that's interesting. I'm curious. So there's the way your dad raised you or disciplined you,
He
and
was
now and
wonderful,
you're
by the way.
I'm
I don't
sure
want to
no, I know he was.
say
He
bad
was.
things,
Yeah, he was wonderful. And we can talk about all the ways he was wonderful in a moment. But I think an interesting question would be, because you're talking about the way that you were specifically disciplined versus the way you see Beryl and I disciplining your grandkids, my kids.
Yes.
What do you think has changed from that generation to this generation and how we parent
So
our
I
kids?
will make it as an example. I saw your son, our grandchild, beautiful grandchild, Aviel, because his sister did not want to give him a toy, he will come and kick her very strong with all his force in her stomach. And she cried and yelled, and I don't know why he did that. And it really, really bothered me. I didn't want to say anything,
You did
but
say something.
but if
Uh,
I told him not to do that,
yeah.
but I thought he needs to be in the corner or needs to be maybe locked in a room for 10 minutes so he will
Mhm.
feel something that she felt. But then Beryl explained me that that's not your way of approach. It's better talking. So I then went and read a lot and listened to many people in the subject, on that subject. Everybody said talking is much better because it can leave a trauma and you don't want to shake his self-defense and security. There are many reasons, but eventually, if it doesn't work, if it doesn't help, and he doesn't feel it, he needs to feel something. You need to take away from him something.
Yeah, there has to be consequence. I
Right.
agree, but I don't think consequence, but I don't think by highlighting what they should be ashamed of and digging them deeper into a shame spiral is the right way to discipline, right? It's like when he hurts his sister, he already knows he did something wrong, and we can see it in his body language that he's experiencing shame. So to point out what he's doing in a way that makes him feel like he's a terrible person, let's say, like if you
I
lock him
don't
in
want
a
him to
room,
think, I don't want him to think that. Not
right? God
terrible,
forbid.
that extreme. No.
God forbid. Yeah. Yeah. And so by
But when I
locking
was
him
in
in a room,
school
mhm.
and we didn't prepare the homework, the teacher come, put us in front of the class and torture us. I never told you that. Really torture. I still have that. I never got hurt because I was a good boy. But I saw many friends, they went in front of the class and he will shame them. How do you say that in English? Shame
Yeah,
them
yeah. Yeah.
in front of everybody. And for a long time, instead of teaching, they would love to do that. They thought that's the way to deliver the message. And I always ask myself why they do that so bad, so
Mhm.
badly, why they punish us. And it's been even worse in my parents' school. So it's getting better, much better now. And that's
What do you,
something that
what
I
kind,
always ask
I mean,
myself. I was
oh,
even looking for the last year when I visited Israel. I asked friends from school if we can find that particular teacher. I wanted to speak to him because it had an effect on me, and I wanted to close the circle to see why he did that. And they said maybe he's not around anymore.
what kind of effect do you think it left on you?
What kind of effect?
Mhm.
A fear from unproportional justice. To see that you get hurt so much for not preparing homework in front of everybody, that's a trauma. It
Mhm.
affects your self-esteem,
Mhm. Mhm.
the way you can speak in front of audience. For example, one of the things that I really admire at you really, is the courage that you have to speak in front of audience. Because if you remember when you were in high school, when I was working in Manhattan, I took you once, you were very young, maybe 20, and you were speaking in front of a big audience with a lot of confidence. And I felt that that's something that I don't have it. I started to have it in the army, but until the army, even high school, when we had sitting in circle and speak about social, all kind of issues, I was the quiet guy. And
Really?
it always
No. You?
troubled me.
Quiet? No, I don't believe.
I was quiet. I was the quiet guy until 17, 18. I was afraid to say something wrong and
Yeah.
get laughed at or criticized or bullied. So I
Because
was
of the
very
childhood,
careful.
because of the childhood experience
I
of
think it has to do with that. But I think my father installed, especially in my brother, the rabbi, Dan, a lot
Mhm.
of fear.
Mhm.
Not that he's not afraid to talk about to a lot of audience, big audience, but fear in general in life, from trying things for being to have more chutzpah, courage. It affects.
Mhm. Mhm.
Always don't go there, don't do that, don't play with this boy, don't play with that boy. I remember once I was playing with kids from my neighborhood because we were always outside playing with kids. That was the atmosphere back then in Jerusalem. And I fell off a stone and I broke my hand, my left hand. And I came and I was crying, and my mother was protecting me. We have to go to the doctor. It ended up that I broke my hand, but my father always screamed at me that it's my fault, that I play with the wrong kids and I go to the wrong places, and that's why it's happened to me. So instead of being compassionate and nice and let me go through that because I broke my hand, I remember my mother was crying when he put the cast on me. She was standing by the door and crying like a baby.
Ish.
And I cannot forget that. That was very emotional.
Mm.
I also broke my right hand. I broke both of them in school, in
Your poor
elementary school.
mother.
Man,
Your poor mother.
poor mother. She took it very hard, very hard. I miss her.
Yeah.
Sure.
What do you miss the most?
What do I miss the most? I miss her not only honesty, but what's the word for that? Uh, very, very not honest. What's the word? I don't find a word for that. I need to think
Sincere?
about it. What?
Sincere, maybe?
Modest, sincere, honest, natural,
Au-
basic to earth.
Authentic.
Uh, yeah, she was under my father's control most of the time.
What do you think about that?
And I am afraid one of the big regrets I saw, you asked me one time, one of the biggest regrets that I didn't give her more pleasure in life, take her more on trips, give her, call her more, talk to her more. You know, she enjoyed that so much.
Hmm.
And I'm afraid it will happen to me one day with you, because
Well,
that's something that we really need as we get older. We need a connection with the family. Because when we came to America and I got married to Chaya, my wife, she came from Israel 6 months after I arrived. I told her to come. And we were alone and we didn't have friends. We just focused on the business to make ends meet, to be able to get married and support the family. And I think we did very well. The results are, you're one of three kids that we have. They're all beautiful and accomplished, and we are very happy for the results. But it was on an account of going out and meet more people and talk to people and spend more time without the kids. We had to gaggle both things, the business and the education. And one of the things that Jewish people do, they like to put their money in education, not in drinking, not in drugs, not in going to the casino. The money, the extra money they have, they will spend on a good class for you, singing class, dance class, a piano teacher. And we were like your servants. We always took you everything you wanted. We never deprived you from anything. And even when you came late at night, we were worried, but we accepted that because we knew that you feel happy, that we don't interrogate you so much.
hi, Ayelet here. I just wanted to pop in and say I am so excited to officially introduce the Manifestation Method portal, membership, and app. This is your home for all things Kabbalistic manifestation. You'll get access to my monthly live workshops, soul deep hypno activations and attunements, all of our manifestation courses, and our global community of manifestors. And the best part, it's just $26 a month. That's less than a latte a week. Come manifest alongside me and start creating the life you desire and deserve. Head over to ayeletpolonsky.com to join us.
That was
What,
part of the history.
what do you wish someone told you when you were my age?
Okay, that's a very good question. So I had to come here. I had education, some kind of education. I had an MBA, business and economy from Jerusalem, very good university, Hebrew University. But I came here. I didn't have any papers. My English was not as good as today, and I couldn't find myself getting a job in a corporate world. So that's why many Jews who don't find a job, what they do, they start their own life with a job. So I opened a shop, and then we opened few shops. We were in graphic and printings. That's another interview, if you like. But I had to do everything. Customer relations, doing working on the machines, fixing the machines, organize everything, so many aspects, cleaning the room, make sure everything works, because I couldn't afford paying too many people. I had only one girl who came from Brooklyn. I remember she got paid $4 per hour. She came all the way from Brooklyn. It was very sweet. Jewish girl, she was serving the customer. We made copies, fax, all kind of resumes. And then mom came and she helped me too. Eyal helped me in the business. But it was all on my shoulders. The whole thing I built on my shoulders. And I was coming home and I was so happy. I bring a bag of cash and it helps us in life, and we started that way. So I wished, what I regret, that I knew how to delegate more things to others, then I could make it much bigger. When you try to do everything yourself, you cannot grow. You can be comfortable.
I
It's
agree
like
with
better than a job because having a job, you have to be tied to a certain time and to get orders and go to a place to work. Here,
you.
I was independent, so we went on vacations anytime we wanted. We can close the places if you wanted. I love that independent, and I don't like to get orders. I
Mm-hmm.
love that independent. So I wish I knew I could find people that I can work with and delegate and trust more people to work and take tasks on themselves. And we could have done much better. But listen, I'm not complaining. Then I moved to real estate. I build homes. And
Oh,
now I'm doing a little bit of each. But one of the things that I maybe regret, but also I enjoy, is also venturing to many, many things in life. You see, I like movies. I like reading. I don't like just to focus on one subject and say that's all I'm doing. For example, an accountant will be for me a very boring job, in my opinion. But I like accounting. I like to see many, many areas of life. So I'm always looking at different businesses, what they do, how they succeed, how they upscale, what they do to make it happen. And I study from that. I study a lot and I enjoy life. It makes me richer inside.
mhm. And what's something that you see in me that reminds you of yourself?
And that you like to be out.
Meaning,
I like to be out also.
what is that? Meaning what?
Not I cannot stick to one room, stay in one room long time. I like to go out. I like to meet people. If it's restaurants, if it's coffee shops, if it's trips abroad. We just came back from Thailand and Japan. I like to use the next 10, 15 years on the road a lot. I think I think you're also thinking. You don't take everything for granted. You want to ask questions. And that's me. I always ask questions. I don't just do everything I see or other people do. I'll give you an example. I will go to a synagogue sometime on Shabbat, right? And I sit there and I see in the book that people read and everything repeating itself. God is great. God is big. God is wonderful. God. And why do you need to say it 100 times? God asked you to say it 100 times? Why do you need to say it so much? You can feel it inside. I like things that come from the heart
Yeah, but how do you feel it inside if you don't say it?
because you don't need to repeat everything so long and stay so long. That's and doing the same thing. It repeats itself. It's kind of boring for me to sit in a synagogue. I can go for a synagogue after an hour. It's boring. I'm looking when is it finished. But
So
that's
then
me.
what
You don't
what
you
did
don't have to be
you
like that. I'm
so
just telling you me.
what did you think to yourself when I left India and moved to Israel and then became observant? What was that like for you?
I was very happy to hear that because
Really?
you come to your roots, and without roots, we don't have a strong branches. We need strong roots to have strong branches, and the tree can last long. And when you go to India, it was so strange to me. I have no idea what's going on there, what they teach you, what experience you're going through. But I know something that's close to my heart, and Judaism is a wonderful religion and
Do you,
culture.
do you secretly wish that I came back to our roots without becoming religious?
That's fine too. You don't need to practice 10 times a day. Let me tell you also, religion uh, has a lot of beautiful things. But when you tell your daughter that she cannot brush her teeth on Shabbat, or do it in a certain way with a brush, of the whatever, I heard something about it.
Mm-hmm.
And when she grows up, she always have to think about it each time she brush her teeth.
Mm-hmm.
And she needs to be careful. It's kind of a burden. I see it also as a burden a little bit,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
on the
So you
soul,
don't
Then you feel guilty. I always feel guilty if I do something that is not according to what my parents showed me or in school.
mm, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So there are certain things I stick to because I know that I'm a Jew. I think Brit Milah, circumcision, how do you say
Circumcision.
it?
Circumcision.
Yes, circumcision, not eating pork. Because I'm saying if half of the world don't touch pork, maybe they know something, Because also the Muslims and others. And I will
So
not eat shrimps.
how can you say that some of it feels divine, but the rest of it must not be true? Like how can that hold
I'm
weight?
not saying it's not true. I'm just saying I don't adopt them. I
Oh,
want
I
to
see.
adopt certain things that I feel I resonate, I feel comfortable with. I don't have to eat pork, even if you show me pork, even because that's something that always I was like that since I was born. I have no reason to change. Even pork is something delicious, I heard. I don't know. I don't need to touch it. There are so many things other than that to enjoy.
Hmm.
But
And
hmm?
when I was young, what did you want for me when I would grow up?
So always parents want their children to have a better life in terms of quality, achievements, and enjoyment. That's why we are here, basically, also to enjoy. God wants us to enjoy, I think. I think so. So I wanted you to do even better than me.
What does
And
that mean? What does that mean?
in terms of all kinds of things, in terms of family, being in a nicer, materialistically, nicer house, have a nice car. You don't want to drive an old car that you get stuck on the highway. Not nice experience. It happened to me a few times. And wait for somebody to tow you out. Money gives you a lot of comfort, convenience, and make it life more easy. But money is not the only thing. I always wanted my kids to be deep so I can talk to them the way I talk to you. Deep conversations, you know? Something more meaningful. I want to see them active. I want them to create certain things in life. If it's teaching, writing a book, something that has more substance. Um, that's important to me. I
Okay.
don't say that I have done everything, but it's important to me.
Were you ever worried about me when I was a kid that I wouldn't attain to the level?
Yes. No,
Yeah.
no, I
Wow.
was worried for your existence, not only for not achieving goals. I was worried if you come back at night. I don't want to hear bad news. You
So like
know,
regular
imagine
parenting stories.
somebody make you pregnant and somebody call me she's pregnant. When you're 17, it can
Uh,
change our life. You agree?
but if you raised me religious, that wouldn't have been an issue. No, just kidding.
No, but there are other issues, of course.
Yeah.
Being religious doesn't mean that you're happy. Doesn't mean that you're happy.
Hmm. Hmm. What are you most proud of in your kids?
The most proud of is when they speak. When I listen to them speaking,
We speak all the
the way
time.
you speak, the way Leo speak. You only speak less, but he's a smart kid, but I enjoyed to listen to them all the time.
So
Like
us
when
talking,
you put things talking is very important.
but
Also being more fit than me, not eat junk food. I was eating a lot of junk food when I came to America. It's very tempting when you see big variety of stuff and you can afford it, so you want to try everything. And that's why we have a society full of diabetic people. And
yeah.
that's a different subject. People are overweight. I was in Japan a couple months ago. I couldn't find fat people on the street. I
Hmm.
said, where are they? It's a culture, education, of course.
Yeah. And what would you say is the secret to Shalom Bait? The secret between a husband, like the secret
The
to
secret
a
is
couple's love.
to study how to give up. To give up. I know it's difficult to hear that, but life is full of compromise. You need to compromise. If you don't like something that your partner does, put it down. Don't think about it too much. Try to ignore it a little bit.
Don't hold on to it.
Exactly, because then your life is full of stress. Always you will think that you are missing on something bigger, better.
And
Maybe
what
you
would you
could have
say?
had better life with somebody else, but that's our nature. We always think that outside the garden is better, bloom better.
Mm-hmm. And what
Bloom.
would you say is the secret to financial success?
But we didn't finish about Shlom Bait
Oh,
first.
okay, let's go back to it then.
I think being a loving person, not just a business person, a loving person, affection, talking about intimacy. That's very important to me. Always been very important to me. Touching, it's important. I will not get personally into it right now, but I think many men in my age, over 60, I'm in late 60s, over 55, 60, they feel that they don't get from their wives what they used to get. She's more focused on her children, on her grandchildren, on herself. And that's a big, big issue by itself. And uh, what's the next question?
What would you say is the secret to financial success?
Financial success is to focus, to allocate duties, to do something you really enjoy waking up in the morning to do it, not just do it because you want to make money. Something that you feel connected to that. For example, if a lady likes to do massage and she open her own massage place, she manage it, that and she talk to customers and she loves it, that's good. Let her do that. You have to love it. When you love it, it will grow by itself.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you love something you do, people will be envy, and they will
Mm-hmm.
also like to love it and join you. Also, another trick in doing good business, not to be afraid to share your knowledge, even if you don't get rewarded for that immediately with other people. You want to become an authority in the subject that you manage and talk about. You want to be an authority for them. So when I go to repair my car, I like when the guy explains me what he's about to do and show me the options. Not just take the car, do it, and this is the bill. I like talking. Doctors, whatever you do, coaching, it's very important for people to feel confidence that then they can trust you by sharing their issues and problems, all kind of repair, emotionally, physically, with you, because they feel that you know. And another thing that there was a whole series of books about it. When you start a business, a coaching business, for example, you want to focus on something and say it repeatedly to people all the time. And that's your brand. That's a yell it. I don't know what it is. It can be how to achieve your goals, a motivational speak, whatever. That you want something that people recognize you by, your logo, and you want to repeat it all the time. Then you put yourself out or above or out of the crowd. You don't want to be like everybody else if you want to excel. If
Mm-hmm.
you have a product, make a story around it and sell it. Don't sell the product, sell the story. And then people will buy the product.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Okay.
Okay?
Okay. Last question.
Okay. Go ahead.
If you could leave everyone with a lesson that you like a life lesson that you wish you had implemented yourself, or maybe you have implemented, but a life lesson, like if it was one thing to leave the audience with
To
that you,
be worried and concerned about scammers. As the internet grows, there are a lot of scams online. People can take your money that you worked all your life for in 2 seconds, in two computer clicks. Be careful. Save the information for yourself. Don't brag. If you have money, don't show it to anybody else, or don't brag about it. Even if you are successful in certain areas, you don't want people to hurt you, and you don't want scammers to go after you. The world is full of scams. We can do another podcast on that. I can tell you so many stories I went through. I got hurt from a scammer, big time. I'm talking millions of dollars, because he knew that I don't know certain things that he knew, and he used it against me. And thanks God, they say when God closes one door, he opens two doors. The only question I'm asking, why don't he just open one door? Why you need to close one and open two? It's like open one. But that's my joke. That's life. We have to be careful about it.
Yeah.
We have to be careful the way we walk, the way we talk, the way we look, to think, to count to 5 before we say anything. What's the benefit of saying it? How does it help me in the long run? Is it going to affect me? Is it going to hurt others? And we use our mouth too much. That's a big mistake too.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So good luck.
Thank you.
Maybe we'll do another one on a different subject.
Okay, a part 2,
you
because this
liked
one
it.
I'm
You
sure
liked?
is going to go viral.
You liked it?
Let me stop.
Next time we can make stories. A lot of
Next time we'll
stories.
do stories. All
People
right.
like to hear stories.
They like to hear stories.
Bye.
Bye. And there it is. That was my Abba. And I have to be honest with you. I walked into this conversation not really knowing what to expect. And I'm walking out of it completely full of gratitude, of memories I didn't even know were sitting there waiting to be spoken out loud. You know, I think there's something that happens when you finally get to sit across from the person who raised you, and not as their kid who is asking for something, but just as two adults, two people really listening to each other. You know, you start to see them differently, and I think you start to see yourself differently too. And so if there's one thing that I hope you take from this episode, it's this: go call your parents. They want to feel needed. They want to feel important. They want a connection with you. So even if they've been giving you the same piece of advice, you know, your whole life, and you're like, I already know this, Mom. I already know this, Dad. It doesn't matter. It's what gives them meaning. It's their love language. So go ask them the questions that you've been too afraid to ask, or too busy to ask, or maybe just never thought to ask. Ask them about who they were before you even existed, and, you know, ask them what they're proud of. Ask them what they're still carrying. Because these stories and these people, they're not going to be here forever. And the truth is, listening to them, really listening, whether you agree with everything they say or not, it might be one of the most sacred things we ever get to do. So Abba, if you're listening to this again, thank you. Thank you for showing up, for being open, for letting me see you in a way I don't think I've gotten to before, at least not like this. I love you, and I'm so grateful that I got to do this with you. And to all of you listening, thank you for being here, for holding space for something a little different this week. If this episode moved you, send it to someone. Send it to your mom, your dad, whoever raised you, whoever shaped you. Let them know that you're listening. Until next time, go listen a little closer to the people you love, and always to yourself as well. If you enjoyed this episode, let's keep the conversation going inside the Manifestation Method Portal app, your #1 destination for Kabbalistic manifestation. Inside, you'll unlock the secrets of manifestation through my proven Abra method, rooted in Kabbalah, psychology, and quantum physics, designed to help you manifest real, tangible results from the inside out. Join our global community of manifestors, explore our signature courses, monthly live manifestation workshops with me, Ayelet, and access our transformational hypno activations and attunements to rewire limiting beliefs and align with your soul's purpose. The app is available now on the Apple App Store and Google Play. To sign up, head over to ayeletpolonsky.com. Becoming a co-creator with the Creator is your birthright. Let's manifest the life you desire and deserve together.